Hey, how's it going? My name is Dawood, and I am a freelance videographer photographer. I shoot for nationally touring comedians like Sam Burrell, Nimesh Patel, Joe Dombrowski, Jeff Ross, and more. And in today's lesson, we're going to be going over how to import and clip subtitled videos for TikTok and Instagram Reels. So let's get right into it. Okay, so now that we're in Adobe Premiere Pro, after you've set everything up, the first thing you want to do is you want to set your sequence. So you're going to go ahead and right click, new item, sequence. And you're going to go to digital SLR, 1080p, 1080 24. You're going to go to your settings and you're going to make it 1080 by 1920. Now the general aspect ratio is 1920 by 1080, which is what you're looking at right now, 1920 by 1080. But when you're looking at it on your phone, you're not going to be looking at a TikTok or an Instagram reel like this. You're going to be looking at it like this. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to edit like that. Because when you upload a widescreen video to Instagram and TikTok both, they do not crop your video up. Even if they did crop your video up, we would come across an issue where, let's say I'm placed on the left third, like here, and the second you crop me up, you only see this much of my face. And we don't want to deal with that. So we want to eliminate these issues when we're editing the clip, ready to go and upload onto TikTok and Instagram. So 1080 by 1920, and all your other settings can remain exactly the same. Now I'm going to name this TikTok, and you can save the preset if you want. I have a saved TikTok preset down here. So I'm going to open that up. So once you open up your sequence, you want to set guides to the template of what TikTok recommends. So TikTok's recommendation is 150 pixels on the top and bottom and 64 pixels on the left and right. So when I edit for a TikTok video on 1080 by 1920, I've noticed that a 64 pixel guide on the right side is blocked by the like button, and to eliminate that 100%, I've just made it 150 on all sides, 150 pixel guides on all sides. And in order to set that up and visualize that in your editor, all you have to do is Control R. It brings up a ruler. You right click on the ruler, hit add guides. You make sure it's pixels. You make sure horizontals first. It doesn't really matter horizontal or vertical. We're going to be doing both of them on each side. So horizontal, you're going to make sure it's 150. You're going to copy it, go to top. You're going to do it one more time for the bottom. Make sure it's 150. And you're going to do it again for the left side. So it's vertical, left, and then one more time, vertical, right. So now we've set guides for pixels of 150 on each side, which is TikTok's recommended for the top and bottom. They recommend 64 on the left and right again, but we are increasing that so we are in a 100% clear margin. Now usually there are going to be bios, texts, and all that information at the bottom right here, so you want to leave some space so your text does not overlay any of that. So generally 500 to 504 is usually a good range that I found that gives you some clearance, so the text does not get in the way. All right, now that we have our timeline and sequence set up, all we have to do is drag in the clip that we're going to be using today. So today we're going to be using a wide clip of Sam Morrill's comedy show. I filmed it for him out in Dallas. So we're going to import it and drag and drop it into the sequence and keep our existing settings. Alright, now that we have our clip in our timeline, the next step is to size it up and fix the dimension for TikTok and Instagram. So I'll see you in the next chapter. Okay, so in this chapter, we're going to go over how to resize it accordingly for our video to be uploaded onto TikTok and Instagram. Okay, step one is to crop it up to the appropriate dimension, right? So you're going to double click or you're going to go to Effect Controls. I like to scale it up to 200%. That gives you a little bit of extra room to be able to, as you can see here, like to be able to move around a little bit and reframe it as you need to. I've noticed that 200 works really well for my TikTok and Instagram Reels. So we're going to go over here and we're going to find out where the camera angle switches. And every time it switches, we're going to go ahead and create a new cut. Alright, so all I did was I went through the entire clip and I kind of skimmed through to when the camera angle switches, and I created cuts in order for us to edit them individually. There's an alternative to this, and if you want to check it out, it'll be in the next chapter. It'll just be labeled alternative cut method. Okay, back to this clip right here. Once you have determined all the cuts and angles you want to do, you want to go ahead and change the position according to where he is standing. I like to center him out. We don't really have enough room to put him on a third, so centering him out usually does just fine. And I'm generally able to, Sam here doesn't move around a lot, so I'm able to copy and paste the settings here per clip just to keep him in the frame. You know, I worked with Joe Dombrowski as well, and he moves around so much. He moves around left and right. He's running around the stage. So for every individual camera angle switch, you really have to motion capture that. And that process is really easy as well. You know, you just follow his movements, and I'll show you what you do right here. Maybe I can make another lesson on that, actually. So I'll go ahead and make another lesson on that another day. But back to this one, all you do is you go individually per clip, and you make sure that the crop is just right. You know, if you need to adjust one to the left a little bit, just one to the right a little bit, go ahead and do that as you need to. This looks pretty good to me. All right, let's go ahead and watch this clip through once. Make sure everything looks good, and then I will continue from there.
I'm one of those. Yeah, you can tell, right? Fuck yeah, I know, right? That was angry woman energy right there. You hear that? She was like, I've dated this type before. No accountability. Are you in a relationship, miss? Are you married? Well, there you go. How'd he pop the question? Sonoma. Wow, that's great, because if she says no, he can just push her. You know? That's...
Cool, so the clip looks good, the cuts are accurate, and the dimensions are great. Now let's just move on to how to add your subtitles, and I'll check you guys out in the next chapter. Oh hey, you guys are here to find an alternative way to avoid cutting every single time this camera angle changes, aren't you? Well, let me tell you that there are two ways to get this done. Way number one is to have the raw edit file that you had completed for this clip. This is how I do it. I edit the clips for them, and then I copy and paste everything here, and you can already see that it's, you know, it's already cropped up with the camera cuts and everything. So I don't have to cut the angle every time I do it. I can just adjust this layer here and reposition this specific layer according to where it needs to be. So, and it won't affect the layer under it. So all I do is I just copy this layer and I paste it into my TikTok format, and then I'll reframe it, copy and paste the framing, and then I'll adjust it from there. The method 2, DaVinci Resolve. There are a million YouTube videos to method 2, but DaVinci Resolve has an auto cut feature. So you can go into DaVinci Resolve, you can enable your auto cut feature. Once you get those cuts, you make sure they're nice and clean, and export the XML back into Premiere Pro. And then once we're back here, let's go into how to add your subtitles. All right, it's about that time. It's time to add your subtitles. Now, Premiere Pro has a new feature called the auto subtitle feature, and it makes it really, really easy to add captions to your video, especially for short 1-minute clips. So all you need to do is go to your sequence, and you need to go to auto transcribe sequence. So let's go ahead and unmute this track right here. You go to auto transcribe sequence, and it's going to open up this box. This box has very simple instructions. You got to just click audio on track, the mix, whichever track you want to do the audio for. So it could be audio 1, it could be audio 2, or it could be all the audio tracks that you have. And then once you check these boxes, if they apply to you, you go ahead and hit transcribe. This process takes less than a minute, so I'm going to go ahead and chill out and wait for this to complete. All right, and that took about 50 seconds to go ahead and complete, so it was really quick for a 38-second clip. And it's not going to be 100% accurate, but it's going to be very, very close. So let's go ahead and create our captions. You're going to create from sequence transcript. Your subtitle is going to be default, of course, set to subtitle. Now, the maximum length in characters, I personally prefer 14. 14 is a great number, especially when you increase how bold it is. You don't want the start of your sentence to the end of your sentence to be too large, because if there are too many words in that sentence, then you can't make it as big as you would like to. The minimum duration, 2 seconds, is a good in between. And then I like to do double lines because you can get one entire phrase in there most of the time. And we're going to go ahead and create that, and this will take literally as long as it took me to say it'll take. And then we're gonna go ahead and start adjusting this track right here. Now, the first thing I want to do, the first thing you'll notice is if I play this, you'll notice that the subtitles are really small. So what you want to do is you want to, let me close this panel. The first thing you want to do is you want to highlight all your tracks. You want to go to Window. You want to open up Essential Graphics, and you want to go to Edit instead of Browse. This will allow you to edit all of the tracks here individually, and you can edit all of them as a whole. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to change the font. I like Comic Sans, especially for TikTok. It looks pretty good. 116 is a pretty solid size there. I can't get the word out of me. Now, usually there are going to be bios, texts, and all that information at the bottom right here. So you want to leave some space so your text does not overlay any of that. So generally 500 to 504 is usually a good range that I found that gives you some clearance so the text is not getting in the way. So if you want to make it a little higher, just so it's a little closer to him and they're not looking too far down. And then all you have to do is you go one by one to each of these individual tracks and make sure that what he's saying is equivalent to what he's actually saying. So let's go ahead and go through that process. So right here, you can hear that someone else in the background said, yeah. Yeah, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm either going to do two things. One, I'm going to cut it manually by hitting C and clicking, and that way I have a separate track that I can adjust. Or I can go here and I can hit split caption, and it's going to do the job for me. The only difference is now I have to go through the timing here and readjust it. So you can edit it on this text box right here. She goes, yeah, let's make it all caps, yeah. And it will change the color as well. So anytime she talks, we'll make it this nice color.
All right. Fuck yeah, I know, right? Ability.
So you can see no accountability. This is also RUNA. This is a very long sentence. So first of all, the reason that it breaks here is because there's a break in this right here. So the first thing you want to do is you want to fix any breaks there. But also in this specific situation,
no accountability.
No accountability is its own phrase. So there's no need for RUNA to be there. It just doesn't make sense. So we're going to copy that and we're going to paste it to whatever's after.
No accountability.
We're going to cut it and bring this all the way back. And then we're going to go here and we're going to delete it from here.
Are you in a relationship, miss?
So she did a lot here. She's saying 3 different things in one text box. So we're gonna switch it up.
Relationship, miss?
So it goes 5 years. And for all 3 of these, we're going to change it to our color. Oopsies. Whatever that was. So the reason that guy's up there is because I had a space.
Excellent. Are you married? Excellent.
So here he kind of stutters. He says, "This long. Are you married?" And we don't need to have the entire beginning of that, right? So we just go,
"Are you married?"
And it's a question, so we put a question mark. All right, and I've gone through and I have edited the text for all of these right here. So let's go ahead and watch it once through to make sure everything is clear, and then we'll go ahead and export and we'll go ahead and go through the exporting process.
Fuck up a lot. I'm one of those. Yeah, you can tell, right? Fuck yeah, I know, right? That was angry woman energy right there. You hear that? She was like, I've dated this type before. No accountability. Are you in a relationship, miss? Are you married? Well, there you go. How'd he pop the question? So no, wow, that's great because if she says no, he can just push her. You know, that's.
And there you go, that's the clip. So let's go ahead and check out how to export this in the next chapter. Alright, and that's everything. Thank you guys for checking out this lesson. I have linked the footage down below for you to go ahead and do it yourself, so you can go ahead and upload it. And I want to see what type of font, what type of text and drop shadows and size and all, and make it cool, make it nice. I want to see what you guys can create and accomplish. And thank you for sticking all the way through to the end. I hope this was helpful. It was genuinely helpful for myself. Before I knew how to do any of this, I was kind of looking and surfing and trying to find the best way to do it. And I wasn't able to find any tutorials that tell you how to do it specifically for TikTok and Instagram. So I really appreciate you for checking this out, and have a good one. Bye-bye.